Good morning and greetings from Costa Rica. I just finished running a foundation training, and one concept and practice that we focused on was the importance of boundaries and being aware of them. And whether we're talking about a practitioner to client relationship or teacher to student relationship, friend to friend, family members, intimate relationships, relationships with people we pass on the street, our personal relationship with animals or the planet, plants, the earth. It's important that we're clear on what boundaries are. And boundaries in simple terms are the edge at which we are allowed to approach, if we're the ones approaching, and if we are the ones being approached, the edge at which we truly feel comfortable to be met. And our boundaries are always changing. So we have to realize that in this fluid matrix, with the fluid nature that we have, in this fluid reality, they are shifting all the time, and we can't name our boundaries from our mind. They are something that need to be felt and owned. And so learning how to listen is one of the primary practices that I teach in any work that I do, whether it's on the mat, learning to listen to yourself, because most of us have programs where we're listening to our mind, to our conditioning, to all the voices that have been kind of stuffed and stuck in our head, and we've forgotten to really listen to ourselves. And the key to listening to ourselves, and I talk about this in other videos and other practices, is learning how to trust our sensations in our body. And so for some of us, there may even be an initiation to feeling, to stop being numb. For most of us to handle the agreed upon societies that we're living upon, we have to numb out. We keep our brain waves at a certain level. So it is important also to be in spaces of nature where we can slow down, where our brain waves can slow down. Part of the magic is that our body can begin to resource itself. It can begin to heal itself when it drops into a slower state, a lower current. And so we have practices in which it's important for us to listen to ourselves. Also, it's important to learn to listen to one another. And that's another thing that I teach. But you don't always have to take a workshop to learn something. So learning to own what you're actually already picking up on, because most of us are already tracking and reading one another quite easily. That's in some ways how we manipulate one another, is that we can see where someone's holes are and insecurities and how we can get in. So if we actually want to make a connection with someone, if we want to respect them, it can be helpful to find out, okay, what edge can I meet them at? And what's also essential is not just learning to find out where their edge is, but what is our own intention. So the importance of neutrality. Neutrality meaning no agenda. Now, let's get real. We're human beings. We have lots of different kinds of conditioning. And most of the time we have an agenda, whether it's with ourselves or with one another or with time, future. And and so it's also just allowing, like witnessing the agenda. Okay, I see that, but not letting it control. And being honest with, okay, how do I sit with myself enough where the agenda is no longer running the show? And that takes a lot of guts. But the moment that we can sit with ourselves and find that place of neutrality, and to find that place where I actually want to make a connection with you. I don't want anything from you. I'm okay if nothing happens. I don't need to change you. I don't need to fix you. I'm just going to find out at the edge in which we can meet. That's when connection happens. And oftentimes when we're that soft and neutral, then a much more intimate connection is possible. I know that even just in doing the healing work that I do, the way that I'm able to enter deeper spaces is because I don't need anything. I'm listening, I'm following, I'm asking permission. And if we could start to do that with one another, not just yoga teachers with students, not just with doctors and patients, therapists and clients, but as friendships, to really give one another spaces to really be seen and felt and met. And as lovers, to give someone the space where they really are able to be themselves. And with the planet, I was working on a farm when I was 20 years old, and from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. And I remember learning how, wow, plants, they have their own ways to invite us in when they're ready to share their fruits, when they're ready to give. And it was so remarkable. I never realized how much they're actually communicating with us, that they have their defenses and weapons and ways to attack when they're not ready. But they also have ways that they invite us in when they are. So today's sharing is learning about the power of neutrality, taking the time to listen and to take out our agenda. We could say that that's the feminine power. And there is a place for action, but most of us have lost or forgotten that art of deeply listening and seeing and feeling. So I hope this helps. Namaste.